What is the thought of having harassment in the community around you? How would you feel about being harassed by someone you know or work with? Harassment is all around us. People try to stop it, but don't know how or what to do. Well, we are going to go over facts about harassment and the statistics. To start off with, why does discrimination have to do with harassment? Well, first off, harassment is one of the types of discrimination. Discrimination has many other types like age, disability, pregnancy, and sexual harassment. Harassment has to do with someone's behaviors in a way that would offend someone and make them feel distressed or intimidated. It would also happen with offensive comments, jokes, and insulting gestures. What is the meaning behind harassment? It's a form of discrimination under the Equal Act 2010 law. If someone is harassing you or someone that you know might be harassed, can be taken to court for it. This is unwanted behavior and can be offensive to some people in many other ways. Unwanted behavior can be in spoken or written word or abusive, offensive emails, tweets, or comments on social networking sites, images and graffiti, physical gestures, facial expressions, and shadows and ghosts. I try to hold on. Claim 1. Harassment comes in many forms. Some are online, race, religion, bullying, and other types like stalking. The main type is online harassment, which is presented in school bullying most of the time, which 40% of users had personal experience with online harassment and bullying. There has been at least 1 of 6 incidents that occurred with name-calling, physical threats, sexual harassment, and stalking.
There is 60% of people have witnessed someone being called offensive names on the internet, and 27% of users have been called offensive names personally. The number of people purposely harassed or embarrassing others are at 22%. The ages of 18 to 29 of young adults are targeted for at least one of the 6 elements of harassment, which is leading in 65% getting harassed.
Counterclaim 1. It only happens when someone is left out or wants everyone to know who has the power in the group. It doesn't happen on a day-to-day basis where everyone is getting harassed. People saying sexual jokes are just for fun and games or name calling isn't going to hurt a person. So tell me, does it happen on a day-to-day basis or are the facts just made up? Even if harassment is bad, doesn't make the person who's experienced it change. 2. After experiencing harassment in person or online, people start to act different and their emotions start to act weird. Sometimes that can happen to people could be depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, suicide, blood pressure, and sleep trouble. The number of people with depression after harassment comes up to 49%, with some panic attacks and shame in what had happened. The trauma comes with the result of the environment or the workplace that it had happened. It makes people who are being harassed feel unsafe and afraid to be around others. It makes them feel alone, helpless, and stressed out about what had happened. Counterclaim 2. That does not mean telling someone to smile is some type of harassment or saying God bless you either. It's just being nice, or staring at someone is not a type of harassment either. Maybe talking to someone that doesn't want to be spoken to isn't a type of harassment either. You got this all wrong. Claim 3. Those are all types of harassment because it makes people that you don't know feel uncomfortable to be around you. It may be nice, but it comes with some types of disclaimer with the way people act around others. Sometimes people abuse the power and turn it into some type of harassment. Sometimes it makes people feel important because they are doing something right to a person that they do not know. Other times it's just for popularity reasons, or they are jealous of others. It is always not true of the way they act or the way they think that is the right way to treat others.
The chart that is shown shows that verbal harassment has 56.9% of experience and 65.3% witness it. Sexual harassment that includes physical contact includes 33% with experience and 39.4% witnessing it happen. Physical harassment only has 8.5% experience it and 14.3% witnessing it. Emotional harassment with the experience has 55.8%, with 58.8% witnessing it. The number of women who have witnessed or experienced it has a percentage of 93. Men only have 5%, and the same sex has 3% as the lowest. The statistics come from TATA Management Training Center.
Who can file the charges? A state voucher can file the charge and report them. They have a permit for harassment charges, which means they can legally file it or charge it. Also, a parent or guardian can file the charge, but it will take some time for someone to get it. Harassment can overlap other charges because it is categorized as a misdemeanor offense because it's a really bad thing to do and it hurts people. In a big level defense, it can be raised into a high level misdemeanor or felony charge for the worst of harassment. And if harassments keep being repeated itself, then it can be charged as a stalking offense. Consequences of a harassment conviction. The person that has the misdemeanor will be punished for 1 to 2 years in the county jail for the crime done.
Shifting shadow, lonely ghost.
The Harassment Discrimination policy is known by the Federal Law Enhancement Training Centers policy to ensure that every employee and student should enjoy a non-hostile work or school environment. Actions will be taken solely based on employees or students' behavior if they are harassing another student or employee. The procedures of some of which that needs reported submitted to the FLETC. Reports submitted will be reviewed no later than 90 days of the harassment complaint. The final report should be sent to a counselor no later than 30 days to be overlooked.
Every state has a policy for harassment. The one in Wisconsin is the same as the rest. In Chapter 947, Crimes Against Public Peace, Order, and Other Interests state that whoever, with the intent to harass or intimidate another person, does any of the following is subject to a Class B failure: strikes, shoves, kicks, or otherwise subjects the person to physical contact or attempt or threaten to do the same.
Stalking as harassment. This is committed through a verbal or nonverbal means like the use of physical gestures to threaten or annoy the victim. It is very intimidating though the patterns of behavior or emotions of the person stalking. Some could or would be taken to a serious level of stalking when the person shows up to the home or workplace of the victim. It happens through the use of electronic devices such as phones or computers to cyberbully the victim. It's most common type because the person who is cyberbullying can send out emails, use social networking to get to the victim fast and easy. And some states have made it illegal to use social networking for offensive language to harass a victim. Can occur on the playground, school, and in workplace. It's usually physical behavior in which is against an individual. It can endanger the health and safety of a student who are exposed. In schools, it's more of a direct physical contact, like injury or harm to a person. Also, bullying can be classed as a Class 1 misdemeanor, and the main types of harassment that is seen in the day-to-day life. So even ones that were not talked about are still bad because they are the same type of harassment. Harassment is not good for the body or mind of a victim or anyone. Harassment is not a small problem. It's a huge one. Speak up and do something about it. For the next part, what can you do if you see harassment? Establish a bond with people to encourage them and make them feel safe and comfortable to come to you. Come up with an anti-harassment policy in the workplace or school. You need to treat the incident as a court case from the moment the person reported it. Also need to quickly investigate what happened. You need to do whatever is necessary to stop the harassment in the place. Harassment is a huge part in the world around us. Hopefully all the statistics will help you understand why it is a huge problem. Make your decision to stop it. Harassment discrimination hurts the body and the mind of the victim and makes them feel alone. Stalking and bullying are the main types, like I said before, and report it if it is seen. It comes down to you making a difference in the world. Think long and hard about harassment and what it does to everyone, and how would you feel if harassment had happened to you, and if you know someone that has been harassed. You need to help and stop it.